Oh, yeah? Well, I only got 10, so here's 10 and I owe you 10.
Thanks.
Hey, Mo, you owe me 20.
Well, here's 10 and I'll owe you 10.
You owe me 20. Here's 10, I owe you 10. Here's the 10 I owe you.
Here's the 10 I owe you.
Here's the 10 I owe you. Good, now we're all even. Oh, yeah? Well, I only got 10, so here's 10 and I owe you 10.
Thanks.
Hey, Mo, you owe me 20.
Well, here's 10 and I'll owe you 10.
You owe me 20. Here's 10, I owe you 10. Here's the 10 I owe you.
Here's the 10 I owe you.
Here's the 10 I owe you. Good, now we're all even.
Hey, Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Barakathum to you, hopefully leg. Alright, and just through the spirit, I actually saw this a few days ago, and it's a spirit that I actually saved this video. Because I was just going over today. I was watching a bunch of videos today going into this whole just basically touching bases as far as like the financial system, all right, which is getting ready to implode, man. Because it's just a matter of time before this debt bubble pops. It's only a matter of time. And like I said, just watching some things as far as the financial sector, and just speculating through the spirit, speaking as a man, because the Feds just raised the rates again, another 0.25, another quarter, which could possibly be the straw to break the camel's back. And like I said, just speculating through the spirit, because just had me think with all these banks collapsing, major banks collapsing, which is really a thing of big banks taking over the little banks, all right, so that way that the international bankers can pretty much get more control, regulation, and things of that nature. Because pursuant to Revelation 13, matter of fact, I'll just get it real quick before I ramble. Revelation 13, oftentimes we get to a point where we go over precepts so many times, it gets to a point where we just tend to quote them. But nevertheless, for newer listeners, let me get this Revelation 13, because ever since this this world crisis started back in 2020, all right, there's been this divide, all right, and there's been this war and this attack on the middle class. And ever since 2020, man, it's been a thing of, like they say, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. And we're all going to fall into one of two categories, because as this crisis has been going on, again, guys like these guys, like I'll say these are welfare cases, because when they talk about these guys like Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, those are just the forefront guys. Those are welfare babies compared to the actual international bankers, the actual international the elites. All right, the ones that you don't know about, the ones that you don't really hear about. So when you hear about these billionaires and these guys, supposedly they're the richest men on the planet, and again, they're nothing but welfare babies, man. Frontmen. All right. But nevertheless, these guys such as Bill Gates, Elon Musk, so on and so forth, they've been getting richer, while millions of people have been losing jobs. All right. And just so much going on, just so on and so forth. Businesses going under. Again, it comes down to a thing of you're either going to fall into the category of the rich or the poor. Because again, it's been an attack on this on the middle class. And again, with this so-called banking crisis that's going on right now, it's really no different. Because again, they're setting it up to where, you know, you got these banks going under, all right, and you got these banks, what they call too big to fail banks, basically taking over, all right, you know. And again, as it comes down to them, the international banks, the elites, just more control, you know. So I'm gonna get this in Revelation 13 and verse 16. Matter of fact, I start at verse 15. All right, because it's crazy, you know. We're seeing this beast, this thing play out right before our very eyes, and it's a wonderful thing, but at the same time, it's a fearful thing, you know. Because like I said, while this is playing out right before our very eyes, yet for the most part, Jake has no idea what's going on. And I say Jake because, like I said, for the most part, these, you know, you got a handful of these patriotic Edomites out here. You know, they see the writing on the wall, man, and you know, a lot of them were pissed off. They see their kingdom crumbling because they're not getting a piece of the pie, man. They're getting cut off, right? So it's really Jake, for the most part. They have absolutely no idea what's going on, what's getting ready to happen, you know. And like I said, it's a wonderful thing, but it's scary because, hey, that could be us, you know. It could be us walking around not knowing what's going on. Who was I watching? I was watching someone, and they made a statement about how, because while everyone else is prepping, all right, and again, you got a lot of these economists, experts, and whatnot talking about storing up your bank account carnally, going into buying gold, silver, and things of that nature, precious commodities, right? Nevertheless, to those of us in the spirit, we're spiritual preppers. We're storing up in our spiritual bank account. As the scriptures say, money in that day is not going to save you, man. Gold or silver is not going to save you in that day. You know, so there's not going to be anything that you could do in that day to, you know, ultimately escape the wrath of Yahweh Shema Shai. All right? Because, I mean, this can be a real in-depth topic as far as the financial system, the financial sector, man, and what this can lead to. Because, I mean, it's going to lead to just a cascade of effect. It's just gonna, man, when you speak on this subject, man, the rabbit hole goes deep. You know, and that's why I said earlier how this could be the straw to break the camel's back, just to roughly paraphrase. You know, because again, with the Feds raising the rates yet again another quarter. You see, this whole system it's and that's why I played this video, you know, because that's how this whole banking system, that's how it works, that's how it operates. It's all centered around debt. But before I get that, let me get this Revelation 13 before it slips. Revelation 13 and 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And you see, again, this is what's happening. This is what's being set up right before our very eyes. All right, because when you go into that, where it says all those that don't want to worship the image of the beast should be killed, you know, basically you're going to be an outcast. You're not going to be able to function in society. You're not going to be able to buy and sell, because that's where all this is leading to. You know, now I want to make a quick correction on my behalf, just in case, you know, anyone got the impression, because I mentioned before, well, I'll just say, because the CBDCs, all right, because that's where all this is leading to, and eventually it's going to lead to the MOTB, which is the actual MARK that we're about to read about here in Revelation 13. You know, but I made the statement a while ago on how the CBDCs could possibly be the MOTB. And I only made that statement because just how fast things are going, how, you know, things are just happening so quickly, you know. You know, so I made that statement some time ago on how the MOTB or the CBDCs could be the MOTB. All right, and I said that it could be, all right, because ultimately the MOTB is going to be that implantable device that's going to be planted under the skin. All right, but I was making the point, who's to say, as fast as things are going right now, that the CBDCs, you know, because Esau, he's going to try to do what he can to offset privacy, as he's tried to do. All right, he's been doing, and he's going to try to continue to do. He's tried to offset privacy, so I was just making the point, who's to say that the CBDCs aren't the actual MOTB? Because who's to say that when these CBDCs start rolling out, that, hey, it's going to be something that, you have to get implanted under the skin. Who's to say that? All right, but if not, if it comes out that the CBDCs are just the digital transaction type of deal, then hey, it's not the MOTB. All right, because again, the actual MOTB is going to be a thing actually implanted under the skin, an implantable device. All right, so I just wanted to make that, in case I gave off the wrong impression on my behalf, but nevertheless, I'm gonna read it again in Revelation 13 and 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. All right, and that's where this is all leading to. Very soon, cash is gonna be obsolete. All right, and if you're paying attention, if you're paying attention when you're out and about, some stores, you'll see the signs where they, and again, this all really started back in 2020, 2021. You see these signs where they were talking about this national coin shortage. So, they were talking about how if you're gonna pay with cash, then, to have exact change, and because, there's not enough coins in circulation. And some places don't accept cash altogether, if you're paying attention. Right? But eventually cash is going to be completely obsolete. All right? And again, this is a part of the beast, man, the beast system, because everything's going digital. All right? Digital transactions. That's where it's all leading to. All right? And again, because I'm going to go ahead and read on in verse 16. And he causeth all. And as this has been broken down 1,000,001 times. All right? That word causeth goes into poeo, which means to set up, to make ready. All right? Because everyone is being basically conditioned and groomed to accept this new system. Through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai, he's causing Esau to make these moves, man, to where everyone's gonna have to transition and over to this new system. You see, man. All right. And like I said, it's both small and great, rich and poor. So that's the point, the rich and poor. Because like I said, for more control, easier control of the people, hey, well, part of this, they got to do away with the middle class. All right. They got to do away with the middle class. So a lot of this, what we see with the banking crisis, all right, a lot of what we see with this banking crisis, a lot of it has to do with, like I said, big banks taking over little banks. More and more, you're going to hear about these little, these banks going under, and these big banks coming to bail them out and to take over. Right? Because again, there's this attack on this middle class, man. Attack on the middle class. All right, and you're gonna, like I said, fall into one of two categories: the rich or the poor. Because again, this debt bubble is getting ready to pop. This debt bubble is getting ready to pop, man. Because that's what this whole banking system is centered off of. It's centered off of debt. And like I said, that's why I played this video, because these banks, and this is why, a part of why we see a lot of some of these banks going under, because a little thing called fractional reserving, right? You know, where you put a certain amount of money in the bank, and the bank is only liable to hold a certain percentage of it, right? And the rest of it they loan out to other banks. All right. You know, they basically loan your money out. You see, and for some that are questioning what's the big deal with the whole Feds raising the interest rates. Well, listen, again, this whole thing is based off of debt. All right. So with that being said, a lot of these businesses, they depend on that debt. They depend on that debt. Because let's say a business, they take out a certain debt loan, right? Well, back in the golden days, all right, when this economy was booming and whatnot, a particular business, and that's why we've seen a lot of these, again, going back to 2020 when this whole thing started, a lot of the mom and pop shops went under business. They went out of business. They went under. They collapsed, because back in the golden days, a particular business, they would take out this debt loan, right? But, again, back when things were booming and things were okay, everything was all right. It was nothing for that business to take out the loan, but not only pay that debt back, but they would make a profit off of it. You see? Well, things have changed. Things have changed. So you might have some businesses that they might take out this debt loan and they can barely pay off the debt. They can barely pay off the debt, man. But not only that, again, a thing with this, them raising the whole interest rates. Listen, and you'll see about when you read into these credit crunches, right? Businesses trying to take out these debt loans. Well, let's say you have something like a credit crunch, because again, with these banks going under and whatnot, everything is centered off of debt. All right. And when everyone tries to, because the whole talk right now was with this contagion, because with that being said, people see one bank might be, going through it. It's not looking good for one bank. People are afraid that their finances aren't secure. So what are some going to try to do? They're going to try to take all their finances, out the bank, and maybe transfer it into a more secure bank. But you see, when all these people at the same time at once try to collect all their funds out this bank, man, listen, again, the banks, they don't have all those funds, and that's why a lot of them are going under. Because again, all this is centered around debt. Like I said, when you put a certain amount of money in the bank, they're not liable to give you all your money. If you go to the bank and try to take out all your money, again, they can loan. They're only liable to hold up to a certain amount. I believe it's 10%, and then they loan the rest of your money out, to businesses or whatever, to other businesses or whatever, man. So when all these people try to, what they call bank runs, when everyone tries to, go to the ATMs, go to their banks, ATMs or whatnot, they try to take all the money out the bank. It's simply not there. And that's what's causing a lot of these banks to go under, because the banks, they don't hold all this physical cash. You see? And the word is going out. That's why you have this thing, this contagion thing right now. People are afraid that their money's not secure. So what are they doing? Taking the money out, or they're trying to take money out of their banks and move them into more secure banks. But again, all your money's not there. You see, all your money's not there. All these businesses trying to get these debt loans, that's why you have these credit crunches, these freezes. All right. Again, going back to these interest rates being arisen, right? Because all these businesses, And a part of why, again, is this because it's all added to this debt bubble, you know, because hey, all the what do you call it, the bailouts, you know, them print money out of free air and lending them out to these banks, to these businesses. Well, listen, I mean, again, that's this, you know, eventually this debt bubble is going to pop. And that's going back to this, the ex treasury secretary, what, Yellen or whatever her name is, talking about how, hey, America can run out of money by June 1st, you know. And if it's not June 1st, then hey, eventually this debt bubble is going to collapse. Eventually it's going to pop, man. So one day, hey, you're just going to wake up, man, and you're not going to be able to access your money, or it's not going to be there. And we saw a small glimpse of this some months ago when these guys, you know, when a lot of people, you know, I think it was Bank of America, man, they woke up and a lot of people, they were in the negatives, you know. People wondering what the hell's going on. Which I believe, just speaking as a man, you know, that was a test run, a beta test. You know, I believe it was a beta test, but, you know, let's just say that something like that can't happen on a major scale. Listen, the amount of chaos, that's why I said, man, this rabbit hole goes deep. It goes real deep, and it's going to be a real cascading effect, man. It's going to be crazy. You know, because I always often question, what is it going to take? Because what we see going on here in America, it's not as bad as it is in other places, but yet because these people in these other countries aren't as dumb and docile as these Americans, they're protesting, they're rioting. Like with France, they're tearing shit up over there, man. Why? Because they were talking about raising the retirement age, right? You know, which is the same thing that's going on over here. But clearly you see the difference, because clearly these people over here, they're not protesting, they're not rioting. To just show you again how dumb and docile these Americans are, man. Because they're tearing shit up. The same shit that's going on over here in other places, it's not as bad, but people are tearing shit up over there in, you know, other places. You know, so like I said, just say that to say, what is it going to take for these simple Americans to you know, to start tearing the streets up over here in America? Because, you know, the whole scenario of them killing Jake in the streets, you know, like you just had the one Jake in the subway get choked out, you know, and now you got these, you know, little minor protests or whatever whatever you want to call it. But for the most part, you know, a lot of that is you know, staged, you know, and it's played out, you know. Them killing niggas in the streets, that's been played out. What's it gonna really take for these people to start tearing shit up out here? Well, again, just speaking as a man, I think it's gonna be when people can't access their money. All right. You know, because it's bad enough. These Americans, you know, most of us are already living paycheck to paycheck, you know, including Esau. You know, Esau, hey, Esau, like I said, Esau's used to, you know, listen, I'll just say it like this. Because a lot of these Edomites, they're to a point where, you know, they got a lot of their bills and payments, man. That shit is automatic, you know. And if you're that comfortable to where you could just have all your bills and payments just, you know, on automatic, then hey, you got it good, man. You know, hey, that's that's a different level of faith. Because Jake, listen, hey, I'm gonna tell you right now. Listen, I can't. You know, I got certain things right now. Listen, man. I know y'all want it on this date, but listen, y'all gonna have to wait another week, week or two. That's most of us, you know. But you got a lot of these Edomites. They're comfortable. They got a lot of their bills on auto pay, and you know, comes out directly. You know, ain't no worry. But a lot of them are starting to feel the pinch of what it's like to be a nigga in America, man. Uncomfortable, and they're not used to that. You see. So again, just speaking as a man, I think that's what it's going to take, man. You know, when people can't access their money, can't buy food, because again, man, it's going to be a cascading effect. Now the new talk with them raising the interest rates, man, is hyperinflation. You know, because again, man, listen, one thing is going to lead to another. One thing is going to lead to another, man. You know, but nevertheless, with that being said, we're going to see, you know, More banks going under. More of these bigger banks taking over. All right. So that the international bankers can, more control for them. Right. And eventually it's going to get to a point where, hey, you got to come up. You got to come up under one of these umbrellas, and so it's it's going to get crazy, man. It's going to get crazy. But like I was saying, man, with that, hey, like I said, that's why I played this video, because that's how this whole system operates. That's how it works. Debt. You put your money into the banks. They're only liable to hold up to a certain amount. They loan the rest of your money out. All right. So when everyone tries to go rush into the banks, the bank runs, everyone tries to go rushing into the banks and collecting all the money, it's simply not there. It's simply not there. If you see what's going on, this was sometime last year, whether it was staged or not, but out there in Lebanon, all right, when people couldn't access their banks, hey, you had a whole clique come together and basically rob these banks, man, of, trying to get them their own money out these banks, out there in Lebanon, people rush these banks to they at gunpoint to get the money out. What do you think is going to happen here? To where these people, man, they're used to being comfortable, living in luxury. It's about to get crazy, man. Because again, man, and like I said, this is going to lead to more businesses going under. We're going to more and more feel the effects of this, because again, with this interest rates going up, man, hey, it's going to, the cost of, borrowing debt is going to go up. And how these businesses, or how they're going to basically pay for their slack, they're going to take it out on us, the consumers. That's why, a part of why we see everything going up, because these businesses, they're suffering. A lot of times when you see these businesses, they're doing a lot of these deals, right? Buy 3, get 2 free and stuff like that. 50% off deals and all these sales is because they're catching hell. And more than likely, I'll say 7 times out of 10, 8 times out of 10, man, hey, they're about to collapse. They're about to go under. So a lot of times you see these businesses go, doing these 50% sales, 70% sales, man, they're hurting. All right, their pockets are hurting. And I noticed this a few years ago with Payless. When Payless, before Payless was held, even before that, I noticed this when Kmart years ago. I done bought me a this was a long time ago, man. I bought me a flat screen TV. Me and my roommate at the time, we bought a flat screen TV, right? Because hey, the tall tale sounds are there, man. The tall tale sounds are there. But nevertheless, hey, this is how the system works. This is how the banking system works, man. You think your money is there? Listen, just because it's there on screen doesn't mean it's there. You can just go to the money. Oh, I put $100,000 in the bank. I want to take it all out now. No, it don't work like that. And that what might be the thing to break the straw to break that comes back. Lord willing, man, because man, it's like this place, we can't wait for this thing to crumble. We just can't wait. We simply can't wait, man. It's like, what is it going to take for these Americans to get to this point? What are these Americans waiting on, man? But I'm gonna get this, because again, that's how this whole system, that's how it works. That's how it operates, man. Debt. All right. Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 6. It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? All right, because hey, a lot of these countries, man, they're starting to pick up game. They're starting to peak game, and this could lead to war, because hey, listen, man. Again, this is it's a deep rabbit hole. This thing it goes deep, because hey, man, This is why you see a lot of these countries, other countries, man, they bought up all these treasury bonds, man. All these countries dumping the dollar, man. They're just doing away with America and just doing away with this dollar altogether, man. Because, you know, you got a lot of these countries buying up America's debt. You know, and again, all these countries, man, when the more and more they do it with the dollar, all those dollars are going to come back to America eventually, man. And again, this is when we're really going to see hyperinflation. Because when all those dollars come back to America, hey, man, it's going to be bad. That's why I've said a few times, you know, how I believe personally, speaking as a man, the dollar's already collapsed. It's just a matter of time before we see the effects, before we see the result, man. Because, man, you know, because again, these other countries, they're peeping game. They started to pick up on America's bullshit. You know, Saudi Arabia being you know, one of America's main you know, allies, man. What do? They're, hey, knocking on bricks' door. Hey, y'all, you know, like, hey, y'all, what y'all got? You know, because we ain't got to do business with America no more. We ain't got to do business with Babylon no more, man. Right? But reading on it says, and to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. All right, so that's that thick clay, that ibad, man, the debt. You know, because that's what this whole system is centered around. It's centered around debt. You know, here it is. They're talking about a new package deal, another $1 billion package deal that they want to send to the Ukraine. Right? Listen, this debt bubble eventually is going to explode, man. It's going to pop. It's just a matter of time, man, before it pops, man. It blows over 10 times over, man. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time, man. You know? So the next few weeks, the next few months, Lord willing, hey, it's going to be interesting. Like I said, you know, June 1st, supposedly America's going to run out of money. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Because this is going to lead to a cascade of events, man. It's going to lead to, man, it's going to be one crazy domino effect, man. All right. You know, but as we've said, man, hey, because in order for them to bring in this new system, the beast system, which is playing out right before our very eyes, they have to collapse the old system, man. All right. You know, and through the spirit, hey, Esau, he's moving everything into place for this transitioning over into the new system. You know. So, Lord, one of this was edifying. All praise to Yahweh Bashim Shai. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to you, hopefully elect. Shalom, shalom.